You know, it told you that when, when they misnomer black, but they call you black and call pink people white. But when they started mixing and interbreeding with each other, that automatically ended duality. So you had to start thinking in 3 dimensions now. But we still think in 2 dimensions because that mixed child won't be fully accepted by that white family, and they fully won't be accepted by that black white. Not in some cases. I'm just saying the way that this paradigm is constructed, right? It's for you to think in duality, good and evil. What about that which not good or evil? And it's sitting in between and it's working against good and evil. What about that? That's more evil than evil is. At least evil than picked a side. This motherfucker playing both sides. You got to think in 3. That's what I call thinking in 3 dimensions. And people are not stupid no more. Right? They can see through your lies. Some people can read. Some people do research. Now they got the chat bot giving them assistance to look shit up. Right? And I got to talk about it because everybody talking about it is Jay-Z. The thing with Jay-Z and the Roots. Now, some of y'all, the people that's young, they don't care about Jay-Z. But for y'all that's old enough to know who Jay-Z was and, what type of celebrity he was during our 20s, right? And some 30s, I had to look at it and say, man, Jay-Z was one of those guys, but he didn't sell more records than a lot of those people. Not the way that his PR team will perpetuate him to the younger audience, like he was just him, And he was a good rapper, but he wasn't better than Nas. He wasn't Jay-Z or Biggie. He wasn't Tupac or Biggie. Stole a lot of their material. I was there to see it. So it's like, it's no wool over my eyes. The Colin Kaepernick years later with the NFL, you sold your people out, Jay-Z. You were not a spokesperson for your people. Mm-hmm. And you perpetuated that to these billionaires in the NFL. And Colin Kaepernick was on to something. He was making them hunkies respect, respect what was going on, man, and acknowledge it. We out here making all this fucking money for you. And, little niggas is getting gunned down out here and everybody just whistling Dixie. No, man, somebody need to say something. I'm not standing up for no fucking flag. And Jay-Z, I ain't never see your punk ass kneel, nigga. I seen you dance, nigga, dance. Right? But people not stupid no more. And the only reason I'm speaking on it now is because enough people done already called them out on that bullshit. And now I'm just following up behind it. But people not dumb. Niggas is not stupid. They read through your lyrics, they pull your lyrics up and everything. And still ain't said nothing about them Epstein files, my brother. You in them Epstein files. And I ain't even talking about the debauchery stuff, just the stuff that wasn't redacted. When they told the people in the Barclays told that nigga, man, you better get out there and get Colin Kaepernick off his knee. Dance, nigga, dance. You said you got control over the niggas. Go out there and show us. Hey, we're a little bit past kneeling now. I ain't never seen you kneel. I ain't never seen you. Of course, I know I got a little bit more discernment, but people starting to gather discernment. Their third eye starting to come out. And I'm just using Jay-Z as an example. People can see past that shit, man. They not dumb. He said, do you know my dad? I don't know who your dad is, Dragon Man. You got to be a little bit more definitive than that. Yeah. But beings are starting to wake up, man. People are aware who they are now, or they're growing into that stage of enlightenment where they're becoming aware of who they are. You can't just pull the wool over people's eyes no more. You can't be coming at people deceptive. You got to have some degree of transparency, right? He said, I tried to purchase a web. It's okay. They all the same price. If whatever it was, what you got to do, beloved, for you guys that order the t-shirts, when you order it, said to add new shirt. Okay, yeah. Order the shirt and make sure you leave your phone number. I'll call you. Especially on t-shirt orders. Right? Shouts out to Safari. Yeah, make the purchase and I'll call you. And see that's what's different from me from other people. You know, a lot of beings don't even got a website, for one. But for two, when you purchase from me, I'm gonna call you. I want you to know who it is, and I want to give my personal appreciation for people dialing in with the platform. Right? There's a certain degree of integrity with what I do, and shouts out to Safari and everybody else. And I had over 230 some odd people in our community, and I've had intimate conversations with every single one of them. And they can stamp it too. Like, yeah, I done chopped it up with them. Chopped it up more than once. You know what I mean? If I got time, I'm gonna spin the block on you, and you know, yeah. But yeah, you want that add new shirt? Yeah, yeah. Just put it in the message. You know, and that's for anybody else. If you see something else you want, just put it in the message and leave a phone number. I'm gonna definitely reach out to you. Right, Victory? Shouts out to Victory. You know, and her copper work. She did some copper work for me. See, stuff like that happen when you out here, you know, as a merchant and you want at the degree that I am, you know. Some of the people could do something for me. I had to break bread with that sister on the copper spirals. That saved me time. And she a part of the community now. Y'all check out her work, Victory Garden. She wraps crystals, you know, and she's definitely top tier at her craft. Might have you wrap my staff up, loved one. I'll be up that way this weekend. I'm coming up to Dallas. Might have you wrap my staff. Straight up. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, order your shirt. Say you need 2 of them staffs. Are you in the AEO? You gotta be in the AEO and the OM. I do something special. Shouts out to my brother Haru Neturu. He's a brother from OM and the AEO. And I'm working on his staff right now. I'm putting the staff together for him. But if you don't belong to one of those orders, if you could show me that you have a Reiki certification or something, because this staff ain't just for cosplay. You know, like I said, I clear people's auric field with this staff. I get their chakras spinning in the right direction. Sometimes they got a lot of blockages of things that's been stored energetically in certain localities in their body. And some people will break down crying. I had one person pass out. I had a sister had to go to the hospital, right? But it bring all that stuff up out of you. Some people come to me procrastinating, and now they not procrastinating no more. They own the money. They own their note. You know, some people were scared to live their dreams. They start living their dreams. Some individuals, their psychic range gets enhanced, increased. You know, their clairvoyance gets accelerated to another level, right? And one of my students, she's been hit with the staff so much that after I hit you with the staff, she gonna take you in the hallway and tell you what she can see energetically from the spiritual plane. She tapped in, you know. And I got a couple of other, you know, day oneers they operating on an intuitive and telepathic level. So when y'all come out to these events, don't come on that bullshit. They gonna tell me. They'll tell me on a psychic plane. We ain't even got to talk to each other or nothing. Like, it's like that. It's like that. But I'm here to activate those dormant senses that haven't been activated for generations. This ain't something that, it ain't like your mommy and your daddy was walking around and your grandmothers and them was functioning at that level, right? He said they're not for sale. No, no, no. No, I don't do these for sale now. I will make a version where I start doing this because a lot of people always ask me for staff. They always asking me for staff, and it's like, nah, I had to make a version where a person can walk around with the staff, right? Because there's a lot that goes into these staffs. It ain't just, like I said, it's not for cosplay. I got a staff on my altar right now that's not mine. I'm doing for somebody else. And it's gonna stay on my altar until the next full moon. And then I start putting everything on a staff form, you know what I mean? All the chakra points, you know, and it's custom to him, you know. I know the solar biology signs, but one will be coming. But I'm telling you, I will start doing staff, but I'm gonna charge off for it. And like I said, it's like this staff ain't for me. This for the people when they come to the event. And a lot of y'all that be coming to these events, I be feeling like, man, when I'm ready to get hit with the staff now. And I'll post the pictures on my story later, but you can see how everybody glowing after they get hit with that staff. We be glowed up. Especially when it's a 2-day event. After that first day, and then we go out after the second day, we be extra shining and charged up, be light, real giggly and laughy like, you know what I'm saying? But still on point though. Still on point. We come to Atlanta, we go to the little witch areas and it starts storming every time we come around. Because it be our ancestors. They might be doing something that's adverse to the things that we uphold. And it just start raining. Their energies be clashing with our energies. We don't be fighting or nothing, but it's just letting them know, like, nah, man, you know, these are babies. They about to come here and get their crystals and shit like that. But no, it's some real shit. It's very real what I do. And, you know, I learned from one of the very best on how to teach. And the things that I do teach is how to apply what you learn into your life, how to develop routines that empower you, or what you refer to as ritual, right? Because you know, why do something if you're not being empowered by it? Yeah, that's Supreme Grand Master Teacher, Dr. Melakaza Duck Yorkale. That's a Supreme Grand Master Teacher. What he did was he raised master teachers up, right? He was taking students and turning them into master teachers. That's what he came to do, right? He told y'all he had 30 years to raise those beings up. And we would have to go 30 years without his guidance and be capable of showing what we're capable of applying with what he has taught. You know what I mean? Yeah, so you know what time it is. Yeah, was you in Om? Was you in the Om or AEO? Or were you in the Sufi order? If you could show me some certification, I'll talk to you and I'll construct you a staff. I'll put the staff together for you, loved one. But yeah. Anybody else? Any other questions? Come join us in San Antonio, July the 25th. July 25th for the AAA workshop. That's the Ancestral Altar Activation Workshop, Discourse, and Seminar. And I'm going to go through everything step by step and go over the facts. Y'all been seeing them in my story. Now, you always where you're supposed to be, Nettie. But we're going to go through the 12 facts of the AAA workshop, things that you should know, things that you should become aware of. And, you know, shouts out to the AAA Academy and the alumni and the results that people are getting from working with the altar, man. Like man, you know, it's beyond explanation. And when you're dealing with spiritual knowledge, when you're dealing with spiritual beings, which we all are, and you dealing with one that's turned on, things is going express itself beyond the confines of the laws of physics that you refer to. And when things start occurring and there's no explanation for it that your ego can process, you get offended. Or some of you get spooky and be like, oh man, I ain't messing with this. This dude is evil. Right? But I got one of my newer students, shouts out to Keith, and he gonna have a remote controller. I gotta work on y'all remote controllers. His pyramid, purchased one of these pyramids and it started glowing from the inside the other day, right? And he was like, yo, man, my pyramid was glowing. I was like, oh yeah. I was like, hey, mother, eat a bird. Tell him about your glowing pyramid. But you sit with the pyramid. I told you guys, you sit with it and start meditating because it has a sentient consciousness. You know, I have a certain word of power where I can accelerate the consciousness in the crystal, along with the other modalities that I have in play when it comes to crystals. You know, I got access to the crystal kingdom. And some people think I just be talking out the side of my ass until they get one say, how do we purchase one? Yeah, you got to DM me. Not in case you want to be a big one. I'm doing 2 sizes. I haven't uploaded them to my website. Yeah, you got to DM me. Not in case you want to be a big one. I'm doing 2 sizes. I haven't uploaded them to my website yet. One is going to be the personal size now, and the next one is going to be like a $200 size. I have to do that because the prices of everything. So I'm not doing no more small pyramids. Y'all seen I took that down. But to go to the website is 1089techvision.com. 1089techvision.com. That's my website. I've been building Orgon pyramids over 16 years. Hashtag the chemtrail killer. Get rid of chemtrails out the sky. We're clearing the ley lines, and we're also clearing the holes of the ozone layer and removing the psychic debris from the chakras of the planet as well. Right? That's why y'all seeing a lot of shifts occurring. So what is with people spiritually with multiple personality disorders? Yeah, they got multiple personalities because it's multiple personas, right? That have nested in the consciousness of the individual. You know, some people try to suppress certain traumas. And while you working with suppressing the trauma, there's a walk-in assessing you, struggle with that internally, and it knows that you're half distracted, and it'll find a way to get into your body. One of the most practical ways that they enter into your body is through spirits, which you call barbiturates or drinks, right? And you have you a drink, when you go to the liquor store and you say beer, wine, and spirits, the person is drinking spirit. And the spirit puts you on a frequency of spirits that's on that frequency. And if you're inebriated and your conscious mind has become full of distortion and static, these beings could jump in your body. In fact, they do it. And I talked about this the other day about exorcisms, right? When people they done been partying all night and you get home and everything's spinning and you get to throwing up, you throwing up that spirit in your body. When the room get to spinning around, that's because that's that spirit. It didn't realize that you starting to become coherent. It's like, oh shit, your spirit is, because I keep telling you, not the body, you the spirit. It's your spirit that's wrestling with that spirit that you've put in your body, right? And you give yourself an exorcism. Well, you guys have just seen exorcists before, right? When the priest is out there throwing the holy water on a little girl, and the demon was like, ah, and then she spit the demon out, right? It came out through the fluids. Spirit is a gas, and it moves easiest through fluids. That's why most of your body is water, to contain that spirit, right? But beings that have that multiple disorder in place like that, something else has invaded their body, and it start taking over. And they start thinking, they start responding to the personality or the personage of that spirit. And it gets to a point to where the spirit ends up taking autonomy over the being. And if you look at some people that got multiple personality disorders, they dress like they somebody else sometimes. You know, they show it to you in the movies, right? Your psychic center has been corrupted. You know, Mr. Glass, and forgot the other little psycho dude from that series of movies. He had like 9 or 10 of them. and what they split on is, it's not that they split, it's a multiple personality disorder, right? Some people say split personalities. Split is when it's just 2 of them, right? And sometimes, in some cases, beings are born with a twin. At one time on this planet, everybody used to be born with a twin. Once the Earth got tilted off its axis, twins stopped being born. But before then, you had a twin. And some people be born with a twin, or the twin ends up dying when it's time to go through gestation. And the spirit may have already been in there, and it ends up sharing that vessel with you in some cases. That's a whole nother little deeper story. I don't want to go too deep into that, right? But that's what that is. Even when a person is drinking the spirit, back to the spirits again, and they start talking like somebody else when they didn't have too much of that King Kong, right? And you're like, yo, man, you drunk? Fuck you. They sound like somebody else and everything. Like, yo, what the fuck? This motherfucker drunk. I'm not drunk. I done had a little bit to drink. They get to talking, boop, boop, boop. He's like, yo, that motherfucker ain't himself. He been on that King Kong a little too much. You know, let him chill on out. Nigga, you chill out. Boop, boop, boop. It'd be another spirit that then took over. But if you're not aware, that's right, be on that sauce, right? Too much of that shit, right? And if they're not aware of themselves, they don't know who they are. They don't know that something has came into their body. But I could feel it sometimes. I'm like, shit, man, something, I done had too many drinks. Like, man, you only had 2 drinks. Like, yeah, but I don't be drinking like that. And I'll go throw that shit up under my own volition. Like, I want that shit out my body, right? I ain't like that drink. I don't like the spirits that's in this place. Let's get up out of here. At some places I go and it's lively, the energy is right, and I have a couple of drinks, and I'm merry and cheerful. But some places I might just have 1 drink in my head and get to spinning. It's because of how low the vibration is there, right? So all of that stuff needs to be taken into consideration when y'all out here drinking, and, you know, drink responsibly and be cognizant of what I just told y'all about that. I hope that answers your question, sis. Anybody else got any other questions? Yeah, we got to become spiritually aware, man. We got to become spiritually aware. Don't find out at the last minute that money ain't everything. That ain't going. That's not a sufficient condition. Just like knowledge is necessary, it's not a sufficient condition. You are the sufficient condition. You got to realize that, because you got 100 years here at best. You got to prioritize yourself. I'm telling you, the spiritual dimension does not have no sympathy for you. That's why a lot of you, what you refer to as reincarnate in this reality, because your consciousness can't register in the spiritual universe. And they're not going to hold your hand and show you how to get it. That's why you here. And that's what the axioms from antiquity are telling you, that were left in the Happy Now Valley, so that they knew that you wouldn't remember, right? These are astrologers. They know how to chart the stars in all of the birth charts of everyone in existence. They've been did that. That's how they knew to lead the pyramids and the Sphinx and to lead the stuff on the walls in the temple. But they knew that one day it'd be surveyed again and you would learn, and the dormancy of genetics of which are supplanted in your makeup will become reactivated upon coming in proximity of it, even if it's just visual proximity. That's good enough. It do something to you when you see them pictures from Egypt. You can act like it don't. I'm talking to my non-ether being. You can act like it don't. Like, man, we from over here. You know, this the real Egypt. Nigga, shut that dumb shit up. When you see a picture of Imhotep, you see them Giza pyramids, you see them temples and them sarcophagus. That shit activates something in you. Stop denying that. You already got enough conflict going on within the genetic makeup of your physical persona. Don't add to it. Right? Don't add to it. Because that was one of the spots. Right? That's what it's talking about in Revelations chapter 12. About the war that went on in Orion or Sahu between Michael and his angels and Satan and his angels. And Satan and his angels was cast out and sent to this planet. Religious people say heaven and then don't know where the fuck heaven at, right? But if you look in context, the word heaven, haven, which is Latin, came from Orinos, which is a Greek word. And when you transliterate Orinos back into Orion, our Father who art in Orion, right? That's a star constellation, Orion. And you see the belt of Orion, which composes of OrgoniteTEK, Lam, and Mintaka. That's the belt, and it lines up with the three pyramids, you know, to the micro, to the to the millimeter micro, right? So the beings that was in heaven came to earth, on earth as it is in heaven. They came down here to establish what was going on in Orion, right? So when you're seeing Asaru or Set and Haru, which come out the temple of Anu, right? That was the order that was being set here. That was the last order that was being set here for the beings that was on this planet that were seated here from the beings that came from there. And they trying to hide that fact from you. They kind of try to tell you when they tell you about aliens and all of that stuff and say, oh, yeah, you know, the Egyptians come from, they're really aliens. They're talking about you. But they're not going to tell you that. They'll show you, but they're not going to tell you. It's up to you to figure that out, right? And what I'm saying to you, that was said to me, and that's how I'm able to say it to you. And somebody said that to my Supreme Grand Master Teacher, because for all of the new Abia that was there at the time, a lot of people might find conflict with it. I don't know, but it wasn't about Anu and Enki and Enlil and all of that down there on the land. It was about Egypt. He never put up anything Sumerian. It was all Egypt stuff. It was pyramids and obelisks. And I got the pictures right here that I took on my own when I used to be on the land. And that's your identity, man. That's what he came to give you back as an identity, something to refer to, something that you could apply to your life and make your life better, right? Be a better person, right? Add some brightness to people's life in a positive way. That's what that man advocated for you to do, right? And once you got back your legacy and the sense of who you are, you start applying yourself, those governing forces that are the Neteru, right? Which are co-conspirators with the existence. They start working with you. You call on them forces, you start beating them drums, that shit start activating and animating all of the dormant DNA that hasn't been used for generations. And what I found out through the years, through my own spiritual applications, is that when you start venerating and start pouring libations, start making offerings, start calling out names on a consistent basis, it starts to activate the aspects of them that's still coursing in your veins. And they start turning on the genetics that came before them because they're in closer proximity to those beings than you are. And they start activating and being animated inside of you as well. That's why I be so hyped sometimes when I come on here. I don't even be trying to be hyped. I don't be trying to be loud. I don't be trying to be extra energetic. But guess what? The ancestors are alive inside of me. And I can feel what they saying. I ain't even got to hear it. I can feel it. I got that clear sentience where it's like that shit just on me. Right? And a lot of you have experienced it just through here or in our private community. Y'all just see it like damn man, look what just happened. As soon as you said this happened. And as soon as you said this happened. I get that all the time. You know what I mean? I get it all the time. It's like just like it's 12:21 right now. And it's 1:21 Eastern Standard Time. That's 11 times 11. These are the type of symmetrical alignments that just pile. I'm not planning that shit. I'm just going. You got to just go with the flow. And like we say in the gates of rainology, the fourth gate, you have to allow. You have to allow and get in the habit of allowing in order to receive your allowance. Get out your own way. You don't have to sit there and watch the seed grow out the ground every second. Just go up and keep doing what you're doing. And when you come back in a week or so, you'll see something sprout out the ground, right? But you don't have to sit there and just watch and force it to come out the ground. Just like when you become pregnant with child, you don't just reach up in you and pull the child out 2 weeks after you found out you're pregnant and say, come on, baby, I'm ready for you to be out of me. Like, no, things take time. You have to allow it to grow. That is the law of creation, is growth. Things have to grow within creation. And you have to respect the fundamental laws that took for you to get here. You hear me? Now, the being that's been ruling the planet over the last 6,000 years didn't take that approach. It's very impulsive and very impatient. But it's a new day. Hot damn. It's a new day. Right? It's a new day, man. And this is Tahuti Rudy Thoth Day. Anybody else? Any other questions out there? Tahuti Rudy Thoth Day, Thor Day, Thursday. And it's not even Thor's Day. I forgot it's Tuesday. I don't even know what day of the week it is. It's Tuesday. I'm thinking it's Thursday. I'm like, oh man, it's Tuesday. What you doing? And how come twins have a deeper connection with each other compared to siblings who are born separate? Well, for one, they're sharing a womb. So they've developed a bond while they were in the womb. Right? They may have been astral projecting in and out of each other's body the whole time while they was in there. When they returned to their body, they came into their twin's body. That's all it is. For people that wasn't born together, it's not going to have that same effect. You're welcome, lover. Yeah, twins have a deep connection. Some of those connections, if one of the twins passes before the other one, they're privy, they're a little bit even more privy to their spiritual senses because they have somebody on the other side. And this just segues into what I'm always talking about as far as making a spiritual connection and making sure that we make these spiritual connections with those spirits that we were highly familiar with as in their humanoid form when they were humans. That's a safe connection. That's a connection that's highly familiar, one that you could be comfortable with, and one that will guide you along the right path to go. Because they're removed from this field of reality and they have a broader view on what's to come than you do. Right? You know. And all of the brothers and sisters all over Ghanawa, which I'll refer to as Africa and South America, right? That's obligatory to remember your mothers and your fathers, your grandmothers, your grandfathers, they siblings, they children. You got to remember everybody. Remember everybody's stories. That's just common knowledge for them to do that. And they come over here, and they quantum leap past us because they already got their ancestors in tow with them when they come over here. And those forces that they're working with are well fed. You follow? They got portals into this dimension and they work on the behalf of their progeny, and they're just fulfilling the destiny of the blueprint that was laid out for them within their bloodline. We want to fight against that, and we want to do what the pink man do. Know what I mean? The second they stop, well, they ain't really never stopped beating us and burning us and hanging us. But when we started being allowed to vote and get jobs and shit like that, what niggas want to do? I want to do what that white man doing. That white man get to have a ham. I want a ham too. The ham not good for you to be consuming, brother. Fuck that. I want to eat it anyway because he eating it. Oh, he get to celebrate Christmas. I want to celebrate Christmas too. You hear me? Oh, they get to be in the Macy Day. I want to be in the Macy. Why you want to do everything everybody else doing, damn it? This motherfucker that burnt, hung, and beat your ass, and now you want to do everything this motherfucker do? Not me. All right? Shouts out to the Nation of Islam. That's what I was raised up in. And I didn't even know that it was something outside of that. I didn't know the concept of Jesus until we left that community. I didn't even know that it didn't dawn on me like that. I'm like, damn, Jesus a white motherfucker? Like, yeah. I asked my grandma that one time. I was like, is Jesus white? And she was like, baby, it doesn't matter what color Jesus is. I'm like, then why did they make him white then? And this when I was a Christian, because I had became a Christian. I'm like, why did they make him white? They ain't had no answer for that. You know, and a lot of you motherfuckers say, oh, man, he really was black. And it's like, nah, man, too late, motherfucker. Too late. Now I don't want none of that shit. But the question I have for any pink people out there, especially if you're on the other side of the wall, how come y'all keep turning all of these pictures of these Egyptian deities pink? I done found all these pictures of Tahuti and he got white skin. Tahuti was not white. Y'all, that branch of pigmentation is new to this planet. It ain't even old. That's why the sun is burning those beings and they got to get the SPF 40 or whatever. It's because it's too intense, right? The melanocytes of your body they're not built to be taking that in like that. Yet and still, I pull up a picture of Sekhmet, and they got the lion head, but she got a white body, got white skin. I'm like, yo, why y'all do that? I know why you're doing it. I still gotta ask. Why y'all do that shit? We don't take Superman and put an afro on that nigga and be like Superman. You feel me? And if we did, y'all have a fucking fit. Had a fit about the Little Mermaid. Now you're having a fit about Betty Boop. Why? Why are you doing that? I seen a statue of a Saru And you made it look like a white dude. I'm like, man, Asharu wasn't no pink man. He had a green face. He didn't have a pink one. The hell going on? You make the Mummy movie turn Imhotep evil, knowing the truth about Imhotep, and you perpetuated him to be evil. Why did you do that? Why did you do that? And why you make him look like he's some damn desert Arab, knowing damn well that it was a Nubian man? You know that. See, these things is doing intentionally because they know that you're not gonna. They know you're not gonna say nothing. That shit go right. You just gloss right over that shit. It's like, no, man, somebody got to call that bullshit out. And I'm just one of those beings here to do that. I'm going to call it out. You pull up a picture of Hethidru, or who they call Hathor, and it's going to be a white woman. Why y'all doing that? What about your Mary? Go back to Mary and Jesus and Joseph and Matthew and Luke. Go, you can wipe that shit out all you want to. Keep your ass out the Happy Now Valley. And I'm here to call your bullshit out. And I had Ruth telling me to, and for all you white people that be over there in them temples, keep your ass out them temples. Stop doing that. You're cursing your children. Doing all that shit. You ain't got the divine right to be doing nothing over there. Period. You need to be getting on your people ass. You want to get a closer connection to what we tapped into? Get on your own people ass and start holding them accountable for the sins of their fathers. Do that. If you ain't doing that, you ain't doing shit. Because it's on record that y'all ain't did shit for the past 6,000 years. They did nothing positive for the planet. Just living over here in the so-called New World of North America, which we call Algonquia, just you being over here is a sin in itself. Because no one RSVP'd you. No one sent a smoke signal for you to be here. You forced your way here. So anything that you do positive over here, it was old. So you haven't really done anything. And the stuff you're doing over here now is causing diseases, sickness, confusion, strife, and separation. That's what's going on. He said, that's a badass cave. Thank you, loved one. I appreciate that. Yeah, but y'all pink people that be in them temples and be sitting there doing your little rituals in front of it like you tied to that shit, y'all better cut that shit out. Cut that shit out. Come to y'all website, y'all got all these pink people up there like they was the deities, like they was the gods. Shit, y'all got your Jesus, you got your God, you got your Michelangelo. Go fuck with that shit. Leave Egypt, for lack of a better word. Leave our shit alone. Go fuck with your own shit. Your Saint Nick and all of that other shit. Have all of that. Have at it. That's right. Ramesses too. Right? Ramesses is the only person in the Bible that you could actually prove existed. You can't prove nobody else in the Bible existed. It can't be proven. It's not even up for debate or argument. You can't show me one shred of evidence. If you had it, you'd be parading that shit all over in every museum in the world at the same rate that you do Ramesses. And his second of his name and third of his name. And all of their wives and concubines and their bastard children. They go that far. They done pulled up that many tombs. Like, damn, for real? Let me go pull up George Washington and his mama and daddy. And his children and their children. I have 100 holes in me by the time I even touched the gate. And there was nothing holy about George Washington. He had no wisdom. He was the first general before he was the first president. Somebody had to appoint him to that position. You had a union in place. It was a so-called black president by the name of John Hanson. It was 13 black presidents before George Washington. They don't tell y'all, they don't put that in the history, in American history either. They're not going to tell you about who you are. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 as I say that. They're not going to tell you who you are. They don't give a fuck about who you are. When they come across something that's about you and it's great, they erase your face and turn it pink. That's how they playing. And like I said, this ain't the same. We not dumb no more. We're not dormant. We see what's going on. Niggas is not stupid. Some of y'all is. Because when election time come, they going to spin the block. Come to your church. Pick up your little bastards and kiss them on the head and take a picture, take a photo out, point the finger at you and tell you to vote. You better vote for me now. I'm going to change things around here. You will see. And they don't do nothing. The only thing they do is change their drawers on them fucking trips to Monaco that they taking every goddamn year. They're not doing nothing. Where's Kamala Harris? All y'all people that voted for, where's Kamala Harris? Missing in action. Ain't did a damn thing the whole time when she was the vice president. And I'm not trying to be political. I'm keeping it 10K with. Ain't did shit. You ain't seen her one time. Outside of campaigning, you ain't seen her nowhere. They make Jay-Z and Beyonce, hey, nigga, get on out there. Go get your people to come on out. Do your job. And they get out there and do it. Cheesing and grinning. Tell me I'm lying. Motherfucker is not the spokesperson for our people. Period. And y'all know they ain't. Fuck a placeholder. Entertainers are not leaders or teachers. I'm going to say that again. Entertainers are not leaders or teachers. They're distractors, detractors, and influencers of the young. They're there for the rebellious. That's the generation that they lead, rebellion. Rebellion to righteousness. And that has nothing to do with a religious connotation. Righteousness is just having the willpower to do what's right. I see somebody in line at me at the grocery store and they're a couple of dollars short. I tell them, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. You hear me? Sometimes some people get stranded or isolated. I don't mind taking them. Come on, I'll take you home. Oh, why are you doing this? Because it's the right thing to do. Need some help, Miss Lady? No, I got it. Like, let me help you. I don't want nothing from you. God damn. Let's take the damn box from her ass. Thank you so much. I can't give you nothing. Who said I wanted something? People in the condition now that this thing can't nobody do right. Everything is transactional. I try to help tell a sister. I don't know what's wrong with some of y'all sisters. Y'all be off. But the sister was looking good. She had on one of her little sundresses. Oh, hey, excuse me, Miss Lady. I got a man. I'm like, damn, what? I said, okay. I'm trying to tell you something. Nah, I don't need to hear it. Bro, I had a maxi pad hanging from the end of her dress. Didn't even see it. It didn't hit whatever the trash thing. It didn't hit it. It fell out and it stuck on the end of her shit. And now you walk around a restaurant looking all crazy and don't even know it. And I try to hip you to it. You hear me? Shit like that. But people not on the right frequency of being righteous and doing what is right. When you beseech somebody that is, you're going to always misinterpret their intention. And these are the type of situations and scenarios and circumstances that appear in the awakened realm during the time that we awake, right? Because when you go to sleep, you leave out your body and go somewhere else. You're not here. Your body here, but you're not here, right? And I always bring up that, get that hyperbole about people in wheelchairs or people that's paraplegic and can't walk. and ask them when they go to sleep, are they walking around? And watch them say, yes, I am. They like, man, I be swearing that and for those that don't know it, yes, you do be walking around. Yes, you are somewhere else. Sometimes you be so compelled to want to walk that you will project to a parallel universe where you haven't succumbed to the ailments that you're dealing with in this awakened realm. And you start living out your life over there when you go to sleep. Y'all not ready for that level. Right? But this is something that you encounter and experience during the time when you leave your body. And the whole time that you're away from the body, them spirits I was speaking about earlier that want to get in your body and become one of your split personalities, right? It wants to cohabitate that body with you. It's trying to get in there the whole time that you off in the spiritual universe doing what you're doing. It's trying to get in your body. You're like, oh shit, this motherfucker coming back. It's time to go. And they leave right before you get to your body. In some cases, they be fighting your ass when you get to your body. You like, man, what the fuck is all of this? And you don't know that you've been outside your body, but those spirits do. And they be trying to scratch you and claw at you. Some of y'all wake up out of that state and have marks all on your body. Don't say you don't, because you do. Sometimes you hear shit scratching in the wall and shit like that. That be them spirits. When you wake up and you're like, yo, I hear something in my wall. What the fuck is that? That was that spirit getting away from your ass. That's why I got Orgon on. I got it up under my mattress. I got it under my pillow. You know, shouts out to the DreamTEK Ultra. Ain't nothing coming to my ass when I go to sleep. It cannot reach me. It might attempt to, but it ain't gonna reach me. Right? Because those beings don't like Orgon. Orgon is life force. It promotes life force. And that repels the death force or the ghost force. It repels it. It's almost like a suffocation mechanism when they get around, like a kryptonite for Superman. They're like, oh shit, get the fuck away from this motherfucker. Right? But y'all gotta know that. And you sharing a plane, listen, with a bunch of beings that refuse to leave this dimension, even though there's no body available for them to incarnate into. They refuse to go into the spiritual universe, and they trapped here with you. They become trapped after so long if they don't go on. And they just be here looking for a way to get in somebody's body. Because they can still smell. They can still see. They can hear, but they can't touch. And they want to touch. They want to feel. And they're going to use your central nervous system in order to pull that feet off. They don't care what you look like. They don't care what you smell like. They don't care if you believe in Jesus or not. They just want to get in your body. All right? They just want to get in your body. This is real spiritual knowledge, not belief. See, they want you to just have belief and faith and don't question nothing. Just have faith. Everything will work out. God got the wheel. Jesus take the wheel. Anybody but you. And see, they tell you the wheel is WHEEL, but it's really WILL, right? It's really your FREEWILL, your free will, right? And it take your free will, like they tell you in the vampire movies that Dracula can't come into your house in case you got to be invited. Can't just enter your home without your permission. Right? You just can't enter you without permission, man. You need your permission in order to operate. And if you don't give them that permission, then they can't come in, right? So if your energy not right, you're not gonna want to come through my crib. You ain't gonna want to use my bathroom or nothing. You ain't even gonna want to come in because I got certain things in play uh, that allow my ancestors access to my living quarters, right? And they gonna look out for baby boy. And I'm telling y'all right now, like I've been telling a whole bunch of you trolls that be coming here, watch what you say to me. I can't control the way my dearly departed decide to protect me. I have nothing to do with that. And what throws a lot of beings off is that you're not doing nothing to facilitate the beings in this dimension. You might want to be careful with who you throw your rocks at. Because when the response come, it ain't shit I could do about it, man. You make that bed, you gotta lay in it. And a lot of people don't be wanting to hold themselves accountable to their thoughts, words, and actions. But that's personal, man. Trying to get my little camera right. Yeah, that's a personal. So when you just said that, it reminded me something. I keep feeling something touch me when I try to sleep. Yeah, that be them walk-ins. See, like what the walk-ins to do is they testing to see if you sleep or not, or how sleep you are. And you very empathetic, you psychic sensitive, you can feel that shit. Like, whoa, hold on, man. What the fuck is that? Something trying to invade my space. So I'm trying to invade my space. Now I got a cat. My cat knows how to astral project, and I'll be asleep. My cat'll come wake me up at 4 in the morning. He wake me up at 4 every morning and be like, meow, because he don't have a kitty litter. He like to go outside. He said, is it like the succubus too? No, a lot of people take on a succubus. Like the uh succubus will take over the body of a female that has a nice body. You know what I mean? And she'll work through the body of that individual. So now that girl is cohabiting that spirit, and it took over her vanity, and it starts to override her consciousness if she's not aware of who she is. The same thing with the men. Some men, it's an incubus. You got the succubus and the incubus, right? And the male version of that, it happens to him as well. They make sure that he's well endowed. Uh, they meet a certain criteria, certain demonic spirits. They're not just going to incarnate into a damn bum up under a damn bridge. You know what I mean? They're going to make sure that they're able to have some influence when they get access to this dimension. Y'all got to remember that, you know. And there's layers and levels to it, which we'll go into detail in the AAA workshop, right? One day soon, you'll end up joining that community. And I like to go in detail with stuff like that, but not online. There's a lot of dark practitioners here. They watching, taking cues, and coming up with combative response type, modality to the things I'm saying. Because people will come across them. And I'm telling you, a lot of people fuck with that pentagram. They fuck with dark magic, black magic, and the necromancy, and they don't think nothing wrong with it. Right? but that's what they mess with. A lot of women cast spells, a lot of barbers and hair salon people. They be binding people to them so that they could keep some money in their pocket. So I done seen it. I've been on this shit over 29 years. And some of y'all ain't even 29 years old. You hear me? But I don't mess with nothing dark. I'm not into witches, the Wiccan, or the Wiki. I'm not into Anton Levy. I'm not into Aleister Crowley. I'm not into the Baphomet. I'm not a follower of Bobby Hemmett and all of that dark shit. See, he'll come to you talking all that black shit at first. And then he flip the script on you and start talking about Baphomet and Luke. I don't play them type of games with people. I tell people to stay away from dark forces and dark practitioners. Because you're going to be on the end. You will be a part of their receipt. Anybody that's learning that type of shit, you're going to end up being a recipient of the receipt on the other end of the ramification of the darkness that they're allowing into this dimension. That'll happen to you too. You be like, oh man, why this happening to me? These are things that's not taken too serious. But the succubus spirit and the incubus spirit, they gather access to this dimension because somebody got their altar up, not for their mama or their daddy or one of their progenitors. They got it up for Lucifer or Lilith or Baphomet or Molech or Baal or whatever spooky apparition that ain't their mama or daddy or one of their family members. And someone will come to them and say that they want to be a sugar baby. I need a sugar daddy that's going to pay my bills for the next 12 months. I just re-signed my lease and I'm about to lose my job, girl. They told, don't worry, I know somebody that can help you. Gonna help you get a sugar daddy like I did. That's what I did, girl. And you go see the motherfucker, the person do their little shit. They don't tell you what they doing, but they do it. They open up that portal. And that demon, listen, that incubus come through there and jump through the body of the janitor or the maintenance man of your apartment building. He end up doing something debaucherous to some little girl, and he don't even know why he did it because he don't got no spiritual protection. He don't have no knowledge of self. He don't know who he is. So when that incubus jumped into his body and took it over, he had no way to combat that. That's a higher ranking spirit. It don't require you to have some barbiturate. So when people be saying spirit said, he said, is that the same as celebrities selling their souls? Yeah, like when the celebrities, there's different levels to it. So if a celebrity sells their soul, you got people that sell their soul to their job. You follow? All you're doing is giving up life force. So you're allowing your soul, like I said, in certain variants, like let's say the actors, right? A lot of the actors, they're channeling spirits into their body. They come, that's back to the sister motive. She said, is that a different spirit when a person got split personalities? You see these people on TV playing these certain characters, like Cape Fear. It just came out on Apple TV. It's they made it a mini series. I used to love the movie, but Max Cady, originally it was Robert De Niro. He became that psycho motherfucker. He was able to channel him, but he had to be initiated into the Bohemian Grove Society in order to be a receiver, right? For egregors to come in his body so that he could take on a persona, personality, split personality of the character that he was playing. And they tell you this all the time when they be doing interviews with certain actors, and they'll talk about other actors and be like, yeah, you know, so-and-so is a method actor. And he's staying character the whole time, even after they say cut. That person is still that individual, right? That being has sold their soul, right? They ain't selling their soul, they selling their body, which is pretty much selling your soul because your soul is contractually obligated to that body. And they'll sell that space. They don't know that that's what they're doing, but that's what they're giving up in order to be a celebrity, right? under Bacchus or Dionysus, who was the god of drunkenness, theater, and celebration. So you are giving Bacchus access to your soul. And Bacchus dispatched certain spirits to your body so that you could play the particular role and get the particular accolades that you seek to receive from your peers and constituents, and also the public at large, right? Putting you in the seat of a demigod, being somebody that you're not. It happened to the original Superman. The nigga thought he was Superman and thought he could fucking fly. Couldn't take it off. The same thing happened with the Joker with a couple of people. They tried to play the Joker. That shit ain't work out for them, right? Those some real powerful. Those are not regular little demonic spirits. Those are spirits with ranking. Those are egregors. Yeah, Heath Ledger. It happened to Heath Ledger. Couldn't come out of character. Another little show I watched, Euphoria. A couple of people that played on Euphoria, they ended up passing in real life. But the character that they was playing was into drugs and stuff like that. And they end up fucking dying for real. They couldn't handle that spirit. So in that instance, people sell their soul. Now, in other instances, there are demonic beings that broker for people's souls. Pretty much what you refer to as the devil is Satan. There is an actual being that's going through, or that they never already ran through the full music industry, right? And Puff Daddy was one of his avatars. That's why you see his eyebrows look all crazy. Sometimes the pictures of P. Diddy, don't act like you don't see that shit. That nigga look kind of demonic. Like, yo, what's up? What's going on with this nigga? You can see it in his eyebrows. This shit got that little blackula swag to it. Like, what's going on with that nigga Puff? That nigga look kind of crazy. Why you think DMX was on drugs? He refused to. They tried to get DMX because he was speaking the word of God. He was speaking positive and giving people some form of empowerment and inspiration. And he was pure, regardless of his drug habits and all of that. They want pure souls and they want innocent souls. They don't want the filthy souls. They get them a dime a dozen. They want what they can't have, right? And so they'll attempt to broker a deal with you to get you to compromise the integrity of who you are. And that's selling your soul. You know what I'm saying? And people do it all the time. They'll get butt naked and just for nothing, right? They'll do something debaucherous for, give me $1,000, give me $10,000. I do it, but you selling your soul. Now that shit plastered all over the internet for everybody to see forever. God forbid, lack of a better word, that you have children. These are these are examples and variations of brokering your soul in order to receive something that materially exists. People do that stuff for inanimate objects that you're going to feel the same way about that you feel about a lesser version of what you asked for. You know what I mean? Because a chair is still a chair, even when nobody is sitting there. Right? Yeah, you got a nice house and you got that Ferrari, but guess what? After about a week, that Ferrari ain't hitting the same. After about a month, it's just another car. People see you in it, you're like, yeah, but goddamn, this shit is at 93 octane. It's just eating through the damn gas. Now you gotta worry, you gotta always be looking over your back. Can't ride it everywhere, and then when you do, you got potholes and shit in the street. Don't let it rain. Can't ride the Lambo in the rain or the Ferrari in the rain. It shit start hydroplaning and shit. It's like a lot of caveats. You're like, man, why did I do all of that just to get this stuff? And now I'm in a car accident. Blase blah. And this shit just go down from there. Right? But those are degrees of selling your soul. I hope that answered your question to give you a conceptual aspect of selling the soul, right? Or selling your integrity, selling your purity for something monetarily or an inanimate object that's going to lose its luster and allure. If that's how it be. Some people sell their soul for a watch and a chain, and both of them be fake as hell and don't even know it. You know, person got you for 7 albums, and you just got 1 album. They got you for 6 more albums, and you ain't. They gave you all this upfront money, and now you got a drug habit, and you ain't even started on the 2nd album. And when you do, it don't sound nothing like the first. Now everybody they lost interest in you, and the beings that gave you that money, they want it in blood. They gonna tell you to do something strange for a piece of change or to balance that debt that you then acquired. You're like, damn, I can't do that. Well, hey, we like your little niece over there. She's a pure one. Go ahead and put her name into the sacrifice list. Everything will be slated, and we'll restart and reboot your career. And I'm telling you, people, man, I don't want to go too far because I know people connected to this shit. I don't need their ass to be putting dots together and having their lives all fucked up. All right. That's something else I see too when I go to sleep is some of these celebrities. Their spirits will come to me, or some of their dearly departed will come to me and ask, "Can I help them?" Some type of like, "No, man, motherfucker got to lay in that bed." They knew what they was doing, and like I tell y'all, the spiritual universe does not have sympathy for you. That's what this field of reality is for. That's what it's for you to right your wrongs, right? To vindicate yourself, to get things right, so that you can your consciousness can register in the spiritual universe, and you can once again thrive on the frequency of eternity because you're an eternal being, right? And you, as a soul, mental condensed energy, in order for you to be fulfilled with relinquishing yourself from physical desire, that behavior will take hundreds of thousands of years for you to to evolve to, for your soul to be educated at that level, because you are eternal being. You, the soul, are eternal. You can't learn everything in one lifetime. It takes a successions of lifetimes for the soul to be appropriately educated so it doesn't desire the taste of this reality anymore. And some of you have met a certain marker, and that's why your psychic center is wide open. And now you're starting to see things, and a lot of you are making the right decisions. That's why you being aligned with me, because I too was in the same seat that you were in. So I tell you, I've been on it over 29 years, man. I got a lot of big brothers that's way more advanced than me. I got a lot of elders that's way more advanced than me. They already got their green card. They already got their passport to the next dimension. But a lot of y'all don't. Y'all listening to a bunch of people that ain't even tapped in with their own fucking bloodline. That's just appropriate spiritual etiquette, especially if you be petitioning from something that outranks you celestially on a higher evolutionary scale. You better be doing something that's, that's deemed high on the moral standard to get some assistance. You just can't be you can't be just scratching your ass and eating Cheetos and thinking that's sufficient. But you want some help. No. You ain't even helped your grandmama get out of limbo. And they keep sending you signs and indicator at the sign at the indicator. Like, yo, man, you got to help out. You got too many people in limbo. All limbo is a making of your own consciousness that spills out of you, because the only thing that's stopping everything that's on your subconscious mind from being presented to you is your body. That's the only thing. Once the body is gone, all that shit start coming up out of you. And it is so much that it develops a reality around you and places you in your own bubble. And now that bubble is deployed to a pocket dimension in the spiritual universe until you're able to work through everything on your subconscious mind, which most beings don't make it that far. They end up having to come back here and live another reality because they didn't do enough. And that's why it's 3 axioms in antiquity. The first is spend every day of your life preparing for the afterlife. 2, pour your libations for those that have preceded you in death, and someone will do the same thing for you. 3, know thyself. Know thyself. You got to know yourself. How you do that? You start with the simple, practical, rational aspects of who you are. You got to know who you are physically, right? Physically, mentally, and spiritually. Physically, that's the biology. Spiritually, that's the etheric aspects of who you are. That's in the breath, right? You have to tune into that sound that is you, because you move through heat, electricity, light, sound, and ultraviolet. Yes, that's what's going on with people in Inception. That's what's going on in the spiritual dimension. But they can't wake up from it because they don't got a physical body. This is why they desire to be physical again, right? That desire, that thirst to feel, but you don't have no central nervous system. And the people in Inception, a lot of them had a central nerve, they can wake up to this reality and the beings and placed influences. And in some instances, you probably heard me say this before, Linda Line, you'll petition, like some people want to get a good job or they might want to work at a particular place. And they'll make their grandmother's favorite meal and her favorite dessert and place it on an altar. And I have some of my students do this. And I say, hey, go ahead and take that application, make a Xerox copy, put it on the altar. And they'll take that copy, go turn it in to the HR. Their grandmother, they petition to her, burn her some ancestor money. When that being the HR that's going to do the hiring, when they go to sleep, that grandmother will go reach out to that person's grandmother from the afterlife and have them exhibit something like you see in the movie Inception. And plant something or seed in the subconscious mind, the paper that their granddaughter did. And the grandmother would share those offerings with that being for doing that. Because ain't nobody doing nothing for that being. So when the HR department when the HR hire department lady wakes up and she goes to work and she's like, you know what? I'm going to have me an early day today. I'm going to find me 2 people that I want to hire and I'm going to be done with it. I ain't going to do nothing else the rest of the day. I want to catch up on my binging, right? And all of a sudden, your application is sticking out. It's like highlighted, like a fluorescent marker. And she's like, oh, look at this. This one nice and neat. Oh, that's my cousin name. Here, I'm going to pull this girl. Like, okay, got the credentials. They check them out, see everything match up, and now your ass got the job. You hear me? Yeah, that's the way it works. See, the pink man don't need you tapping in like that because he don't got he can't sanction that. He can't be a medium between that. So he don't want you doing that. He wants you tapping into Jesus. And they'll look at me and be like, yeah, that guy, he's trying to start a cult. Or they'll try to come up with some way to defame me because I'm showing people how to empower themselves. And the one thing nobody can deny me, because I done had over 50 students in the AAA, They none of them could deny it. Like, yo, the shit fucking work, right? And they become empowered by their efforts and the things that they're doing, right? I'm here to empower people. I want you to be empowered. I want you to be driven and motivated to become a better person, because you're not this body. So you got you got the capability to be a beacon of light for everyone in your environment and everyone in your area, right? And everyone in your bloodline. This raises your spiritual ranking once you transition over. Now you start having more cachet. You might not have to spin the block with the stuff I'll show you. You become dedicated and devoted to making sure that you clear up the accounts of everybody in the 4 ventricle lines of your family tree. If you're capable of doing that, man, you done fulfilled the purpose of incarnating here. If you do that, that's what you're supposed to incarnate and do. Clear it up, clear up them accounts, all the way up to the point where they didn't have that impediment. That's what it's really all about. And I'm telling you, you can't help but to win. And you can't help but to win. See, you've been Americanized. It's 11:11. Hold on. Abdul Ku Tafalat. Wabazum bi Bamu. El Kalum. Who partner to that? Minu Nut Sheu Kawun Elabihu. Atumre, Nunet. He het. Ket Kikek Amunet. Atum, Shu, Tepnut, Ged, Nut, or Set, or Soru. Nep that Satuk, Haru, Happy, Anquin, Anti. Nepatum, Mantu, Bepti, Sekmet, Hethar, Best, Pata, Bass, Hotep. Who, me hurt, Kepri, Meskahenit, Riot, Kentamintu. Hika Neef, Mayat, Menintat, Shah, Sishat, Mafdat, Sobek, Anubu. Kanum, Kansu, Tanin. Sia, Hikat, Amsu, Sarapi. Atumre. Tahuti, Taret, Selkat, Had, Nehepka, Sokar, Bait. Akir, Anihirit, Wabwawit. Siket, Hetep, Maresgir, Sia, Get it, Astinu, Bahutit. Kanimtet, Minket, Him. Madudi, Kabasinu, Duamutef. Merit, Edu, Nekabit. Siket, Anukat, Jet. Tim, Uwis, Anku, Afnuis, Sati, Sekti, Emta. Ninna, Imuet, Mseti, Kimamu, Raychef, Mary, Amun Ray, for the sake of all. Kawu. Hua. He said, do you know Rashad Jamal? Yeah, I'm highly familiar with Rashad Jamal. And the being said, clear account. Yes, you're clearing up the account. The debts of gratitude that's owed, right? I'm going to give you an example, because this happened to me over the weekend and during the course of last week. A few people, grandparents, came to me in my dream, and they were wondering how come some of their progeny weren't receiving the promptings to pour libation for them and make a connection to them. And they were quite upset that the beings weren't attempting to do something. And I had to let the elder know that you didn't do nothing for your grandmother while you were alive either, right? So that account hasn't been cleared as far as her grandmother. And this was a grandmother coming to me. I said, what did you pour libation for your grand? Like, I didn't know none of that stuff. So it's a lot of accounts that need to be cleared. There's debts of gratitude that's owed, right? And those accounts need to be cleared. There's karmic ramifications for something that somebody did and is still matriculating through the lives of other people, and no one has right that proverbial wrong. Going back to what I was saying earlier about righteousness. So you have to acknowledge that and, clear that stuff up. I'm clearing up stuff I don't even know had happened. And I don't know, I don't know I don't know Mama Melissa and Papa Billy's mama and daddy. But guess what? I didn't did so much for my great great grandmothers that it's starting to hit their mothers and fathers and their mothers and fathers. And I don't even know their names. And then 9 times out of 10, the farther the line down the line I go, I done already had somebody in my life, my whole life, that got a name that belonged to one of my great 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 grandmothers. I'd be like, damn, I done had somebody in my life named that the whole time. They like, yeah, that was me trying to reach out to you and let you know that that's me. And they got a whole bunch of different ways that they attempt to communicate with you. So much so, they send such a barrage of signs, indicators, and messages just to see if you will get one or two of them. Some of y'all don't get none of them. And it's upsetting to them because a lot of my close relatives, this close in proximity of that had a human experience here, a lot of them are helping some of y'all dearly departed. That's why they draw y'all here, because they sharing the offerings that I give to them with some of your people. They like, man, how come so-and-so woke ass ain't doing this for me? It's because they don't know to do it. That's not something that's custom over here in the Western world. So we're starting a new paradigm for the people that's from here. Not all you people from the islands, y'all been had it going on. But we're setting a precedence, right? And giving people something that they're capable of connecting to for real, not something speculative. You don't have to apply no guesswork, because they already coursing through your veins. One of the FAQs people ask me, hey, how do I connect to my ancestors? Like, man, they already connected to you. That's their blood you carrying around. That's not your blood. Not until you have a child, then that child is carrying your blood around. Until then, you're carrying around the ancestral debts, the karmic accounts. You carrying all that shit around. And that's the conflict that's going on inside of you. That's not your conflict, but that's the conflict you incarnated into. And only you were only you would adhere to that request. That's why they allowed you to incarnate into that bloodline. There's a whole bunch of souls waiting to be born that really can and will make an impact here. And other beings got to be removed from this location so that they can do their thing. Right? Y'all tap the screen for me right fast, and we'll get on Rashid Jamil. Okay. Now, Rashid Jamil, as far as the question that you asked about Rashid, uh, that brother was real pseudo. I done been over that about 3 or 4 times, but the brother was real pseudo. You know, character was out of whack, and I'm not gonna call him an implant or an agent. I'm not gonna go that far and say none of that. But the nigga was acting very niggalicious, right? And he would have been okay if he would have just been citing the sources from where he was getting his information from, which he failed to do. And a lot of people fail to do that a lot of times, and I hate that. You know what I mean? That shows poor character. And I was prompted by my master teacher to get on here and set the record straight. And I didn't know what he was talking about because I wasn't on TikTok. And it was about this goofy nigga. Like, yeah, that's him right there. But he already got locked up by the time I got on here. I might have say 3 days before I came on, they locked him up. The video that triggered me with him was him saying he the reincarnation of the ancestors. And I'm like, man, nigga, we all the reincarnation of the ancestors. That might sound deep and heavy to somebody that don't know shit about shit. And that's why I tell y'all hashtag spirituality for beginners. Because I'm like, damn, this nigga going and harping on people that he know that don't know shit. Them the people he attempting to appeal to. And you giving them a bunch of pseudo made up ass shit. That ain't cool. You're undermining the intellect of the people you seek to reach. You know. Not once did you say Dr. Melikaza Duck York name when you mention non-ether, which is why a lot of you spooky niggas don't want to say non-ether. And I ain't talking about the people on here, I'm talking about on the YouTube. A lot of people be scared to say it on YouTube because they know if they wasn't in alignment with right knowledge. It don't be no right knowledge behind people's non-ether on TikTok. And I started calling that shit out. That's why a lot of people took that non-ether off their name. And some of y'all was saying non-either. But that come from following somebody that's operating under conjecture, right? But I heard about Rashid Jamil, and you know, the nigga wanted to be a rapper. He didn't want to get out there and teach. He started, because of COVID, he started doing that shit. And seeing that a lot of people was COVID woke, quarantine woke. And these brothers don't be having no spiritual system, no spiritual foundation, and no real spiritual connection in place. Everything that they say, and not just him, it's a whole bunch of them. They be very ambiguous. They're very lofty, and they're very vague about what they're connecting to. You're not going to find that here with me. Because what I tell you, go hook up with your grandmama, your granddaddy. Go connect to a familiar spirit. Stop coming to me saying spirit told you. What spirit? A demon is a spirit. You got to be a little bit more specific about what type of spirit you're connecting to. You just can't tell me a spirit said, like, oh, really? What type of spirit? Did you see this spirit? No. Now, how do you know what it was? You know what I mean? I really don't. It's like, oh shit, man, fuck all of that. I don't buy that. I can't go on that. Now, if you came to me like, yo, man, I had a dream last night about my Uncle Ben, right? Yeah, it's a whole bunch of, shouts out to Clearview 100, it's a whole bunch of subtext to the word spirit, right? And that's due to the grimoire. See, the grimoire try to block the ether. And I always refer to the plasmatic aspects of who you are, because that's closer to the etheric aspects of you. To put it in a rational, practical way where it registers on a visible spectrum, right? Some people will say ectoplasmic, right? Yes, soul is energy. So is spirit. So is density. You know, energy is a frequency that has the ability to exhibit movement. That's how we can validate its existence within the visible spectrum, right? But the safest spirit for you to connect to outside of your own would be a passed over progenitor. Today is my mama Floyd birthday. May the ancestors be with her. You know, I lit a big bonfire for her, right? But Mama Floyd came in my dream last night and kissed me. She kissed me on my face and my neck. She used to always do that. And I'm telling you, nobody has ever kissed, not my mama, not my wife, not my boo thing, not a girlfriend. Nobody ever kissed me like my mama Floyd. Like I could feel the love in her kiss. Like, damn. And she never got me a birthday present, ever. Didn't have to give me one. I wasn't conditioned and raised that way. But when she give me a hug and a kiss, she'd be like, good gracious of life. Shouts out to Mama Floyd. She'd say that shit every time. And I never shied away from her kiss. My sister be like, grandma be squeezing me too, mama, fuck, you squeezing me too hard. Like, shit, I don't give a fuck. Go ahead, I didn't know what it was, but it was love. And I mean, nobody could kiss me like Mama Floyd. She kissed me on my face and my neck with one kiss. It's like her lips got real extra big. Or maybe I was real small. That's what it was. But that shit have hit me on the cheek and my neck when she kissed me. And she hugged the shit out. You could feel the love, right? I could feel her right now. And see, I'm familiar with her. I'm not familiar with Jesus. That nigga didn't buy me a Clark bar when I wasn't supposed to eat. Right? I don't have no memories of that nigga in my childhood. I'd be lying to myself if I said I did. Same thing with God. I've never seen this nigga. Cut the crap. I don't play psychosis with myself, and I'm not gonna play that with y'all, right? But I could feel my Mama Floyd. I could smell the Bengay I used to rub on her. I think about her too tough. I turn on the TV and it'll be somebody in there giving somebody insulin. My Mama Floyd used to make me give her insulin and stuff. Like, here, baby, right there in my thigh. She'll send me to the store. I was only 5 years old. Mama Floyd, heavyset lady, right? But she couldn't walk. She could walk, but it hurt for her to walk. Like, I need you to go to the store. Don't tell your mama I'm sending you to the store, boy. And I'll go. You know what I mean? And I could feel her right now. She even be showing me memories that we had together that I forgot about. Like they said, I used to give my aunt her insulin. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? She ain't forget that shit. She remembered it. She ain't gonna never forget that. She always gonna be there for you. You call on your auntie, watch her spin the block for you. Not saying she'll spin the block out of YNs be saying, but you know what I mean. You need it. You in a tight spot or something is awry or something needs to be brought to light, watch her do it for you. That's a real connection. And they don't want you to make that connection. Because like I said, they're not the mediator. They can't sanction that activity. You hear me? So you call on your grandmama, you call on your auntie, they coming. Especially you pouring a libation for them. You making offerings for them. They can't cross over into this dimension, but they going to do all that they can from that dimension to help you in this one. And I'm living proof of that. I bear witness. And my mama, who passed, I love you, mama. She know I love her. I kiss her picture every morning, right? But my mama before me, she venerated for 8 years. She had an altar for 8 years before she passed. And within them 8 years, for 5 of those years, she seen me have an altar. So when she passed over, I have an ally. Y'all just have no clue. For y'all that's not dialed in like that, y'all have no clue. Man, I be telling y'all people, y'all being drawn here. Y'all think I just be shooting the shit and playing with your ass. That's you playing with yourself. I don't operate under no psychosis. I'm not delusional. Right? If I am, call me Norman fucking Bates. So you can venerate people who are alive. No, you don't venerate people that's alive. Why? There's no need to venerate them. You could venerate them as far as you could celebrate their birthday. You hear me? But you don't pour out no libation for them. You don't leave no offering. So how do you do libations? You just pour out a little liquor, or pour some spring water every day. Look at my story. I'll show you how to do the libation. But I got a video on my YouTube and in the TikTok. I'll show you how to go and pour the libations. So you get you a cup, or for you guys that don't have an altar, get you a bottle of spring water. And I want you to start writing all of your progenitor names first. not your cousin Ray Ray, you know, not Dante's name, your homie, and you know, Charlene, your homegirl that used to do your hair. No, I'm talking about your progenitors, your mothers, your fathers, their mothers and fathers, an aunt or uncle that was a custodian over you or ward. Uh, make sure that you write their names and make sure you pour a sip out at a time for them. You know, that's what I do every morning. I done filled my cups up, but it'd be like Mama Ashe, Mama Floyd Ashe, Papa Jesse Ashe, Granddaddy RZ Ashe, Grandma Juanita Ashe. Just a sip at a time until it's all gone. But I do it for everybody. Papa Quilliam Ashe, Mama Daisy Ashe, Papa Walter Ashe, Mama Dora Ashe, Papa Willie Ashe, Mama Ida Ashe, Papa Billy Ashe, Mama Melissa Ashe, Ma Vera Ashe, John Wilkes Ashe, Papa Charles Ashe, Mama Samantha Ashe, right? Then I start going through other elders, my Aunt Rose, my Uncle John, Uncle Dick, Uncle George, Uncle Jabbo, Sally Sue, Aunt Allie, Aunt Overa, Aunt Lillian, Aunt Jessie, Aunt Jackie, Uncle Vernon, Uncle Hurley, Uncle Willie B, Uncle Bunk, Uncle Skint. You hear me? I call them names out. And not just every once in a while. I do that shit every day. Every day I do it. And I'm gonna tell you how strong my libations is and how powerful my altar. And I'm not just saying it's to brag. When I pour my libations into my house plants, because I pour mine into my house plants, you know, y'all done seen my plants. Y'all seen how out of control they done got. That came from me pouring libations into them. But that's how you pour a libation. But I poured a libation into the plant. And whatever I had on the altar that week, as far as food for an offering, I could smell it in the plant. My aloe vera plants, they smell like pineapples and oranges and bananas. Because that's what I had on my altar one time when I filled up my chalices. But y'all can learn all these techniques. Come join us in San Antonio. I'm telling y'all. It's July the 25th. If you want to be accelerated along your path, you want some structure, you need a spiritual foundation, a real spiritual connection. You want to see how to do that. You want to have a spiritual system that can assist you in developing on a higher scale than what you're interfacing with right now. You might want to come on out to this event. And I'm telling you, man, it's no coinky dink. You can act like it ain't. You can keep living under the psychosis that you're living under. All I could tell people is don't say that you haven't been told. Because I'm not trying to overconvince nobody. I'm not going to try to twist your arm off, and I'm not going to do that. I might reach out to you once or twice after that, like, man, whatever. Like, got too many. We got our own private community, right? We had about 17, 18 people in there yesterday for Moon Magic Mondays, right? I didn't expect it to go the way that it went, but hey, it was still a good build. You know, and TikTok don't want me on here talking like this. They do not want people seeing this live. They don't. Because now they're going to start losing that leverage. I'm showing you how to get the leverage back in your life. And keep the radiation down. Keep the radiation down and bring you into symmetrical alignment so you can accelerate your path to whatever the fuck you're trying to get to. You just got to be receptive to it. You know, I done counted. I had four people within the last year that came to me. They didn't have nowhere to live. Now all of their ass got somewhere to live and they fucking thriving. See, that's how I can gauge my works. And that's no disrespect to my people that got their shit together. You're supposed to have your shit together. That's why you got an altar in your house now. But some of these people didn't have none of that shit. And now they shit going in a whole different direction. You hear me? That's what it's really about, man. Because I tell you, you got 100 years here at best. Stop acting like you're going to be here for 10,000 years. you know. And I meant what I told y'all. I ain't gonna say it on the TikTok, but what I told y'all yesterday in the Google chat, now that's part of my moon magic now. And we gonna have that shit too. You know, y'all better get on now. Not saying nobody's in the group. I'm talking to people on TikTok now. Boy, y'all better come on in while the getting is good, boy. Because I ain't taking no ass kissing. I'm not going out like my Supreme Grandmaster teacher. He showed us like, yo, and he just do it just like this. But I'm not about y'all not about to get close to me like that. I have a nigga flip you upside down and don't try to get close. That window of opportunity is closing for you fuckers. And you let me get to that position, because I've been shown what to do. I can hear some of you people now, always knew. Yeah, right. You got a piece of organ? No, I ain't here, nah. You ain't know nothing, nigga. Like, oh, this nigga just blowing smoke. He's a chatty patty. And then shit pop off. Oh, yeah, I always knew you could. Get out of here, nigga. When you pour a libation? What's a libation? But it's real, you guys. It's real. You got 100 years here at best. 100 years. Are you prepared for what's next after this? If you're not, you're going to have to come back and repeat. And if you didn't do right by that bloodline, listen, they're not going to let you back in that bloodline. Now you got to have a new mama and daddy every time that you incarnate anyway. But now you can't come back through that bloodline no more. So you're not going to have the same access to the degrees of persona that you had in a prior lifetime. It's going to be more difficult for you to pick up where you left off. At least within the edicts of this discourse that I give, you could increase the probability of you coming back into that bloodline, because you're clearing up other beings' accounts. You hear me? and that's what it's really all about, you guys. Anybody else? Any other questions out there? I'm gonna take one more question. I gotta cut it short for now. I might come back. I might spin the block on y'all. But I gotta go pick up my daughter from work. I don't want to have her waiting. I like to pick up my daughter from work, and the second she come out the door, I like for she don't have to walk more than 4 feet, and it's right there with the driver door. I would get out and open the door for her sometimes, but it'd be right there. I like to be right there waiting for her. So what type of vessel should I get for libations? Do you have an altar? Do you have an altar in place? Okay, yeah, just get a bottle of spring water, loved one, and write the names on that bottle and preserve that for them. Right? Preserve that for them. Find them, find get you a candle, get you a white candle for them, get a designated corner, and put you a plant there to, for the symbolism of your family tree, and pour that libation. Watch what start happening in your life. And I, I want to report from you guys. I want to see you guys come back to me and be like, yo, man, I did what you said. And oh my God. One of my students, Dejan, shouts out to Dejan Smith. Dejan came to me. And just like I just told you that, I'm telling you, he'll tell you. I wish he was in here. I'm making Mike up right now. He'll tell his whole shit switched around in 6 months. He never seen himself. See, what y'all got to realize is your ancestors, which that is not your grandparents or your mothers and fathers. Those are not ancestors. Just because they passed over, that's a ranking title to be called an ancestor. An ancestor begins 2,048 great grandparents. That's where the ancestors begin. Everybody before that are the children of the ancestors. You follow? So we're clearing up enough accounts to make it back to the ancestors. And through them ancestors, you reach the ancestors that are the custodians of that family tree. And through them, you make it to the ancient ancestors. And through the ancient ancestors, we get access to the ancient of days, which are the primordial deities, right? Yeah, 2,048 pair, right? That's about 212 on each side, right? Or excuse me, 224 on each side. That's how far back your ancestors go. Also, remember, your ancestors are just not in the hominid form, meaning they're not just Homo sapiens or Homo erectus. You got frogs, lizards, serpents, birds, insects, right? Fungi, eukaryotic cells. them some of your ancestors too. See, it's a very vast spectrum. And as I said earlier in a monologue, you don't have to go off world. There's so much just on this planet that needs to be covered, that it needs to be addressed, right? And these things need to be made aware of. And that's just what I'm here doing. Like I said, they shadow ban me. People be wondering, like, yo, man, you got all the followers. How come you don't be getting so many views? How come it be a lot of... I'm like, yo, man, you know I'm shadow banned. But it don't matter. The people that's not supposed to find, shouts out to Illuminated New York. They gonna find me. They gonna get in alignment with Dr. Ray. They gonna come offline. And once you join the community and start coming out to the events, then you will really, like, because I told y'all yesterday on the Google chat, say, hey, man, we about to start going into the head Heru area, the heart plexus. And I start revealing y'all some of my next steps, some of the things that I'm aspiring to do. And if we can all collectively put our focus, our concentration, and attention on the same thing, it should have happened even faster. I told her I only need about 12 or 13 people with me, man. I don't need 1,000. Give me 20 good men that want to stand as the manpower. And I'm talking about as far as physical labor and sweat equity is concerned. And we can build some shit in 90 days. You can build a brand new building in 90 days with 20 niggas and the right equipment. It'll happen real fast. When you got a whole bunch of people focused and concentrated on one common goal. That's all. You ain't gotta be rich. You ain't gotta be none of that shit, man. You just need the manpower. Shouts out to Messiah El Mati. You need manpower, machinery, and money. You got them three things, you can do any fucking thing. Cut the bullshit. Cut the crap. And that's what I seen my Supreme Grand Master teacher do. He had the money, he had the manpower, and he had the machine. That fucking land came up, man. By 1998, it was 100,000 people on that land. I was there to bear witness it. I didn't hear it from somebody. I was fucking there. I took pictures and everything. All it takes is manpower, money, and machinery. You can get any fucking thing done. Fuck what they told you. I'm here to tell you the truth. And like I told you, I better get on and good while the getting is good. Because it's all, that door starting to close. Now that new conversation came up, because I didn't expect the conversation to go there yesterday. But since it did, I started revealing a little bit more to you guys. And I'm not going to say on TikTok. But I'm telling you, shit will get moving in that direction. And I don't take too much to flattery anyway. You hear me? I'm not flattered by people flattering me or bigging me up or glazing me, as the younger generation would say. I'm kind of partial to being glazed. I glaze myself enough. I don't need nobody. You're not going to impress me glazing me. You can impress me with your application. That's what's impressive to me, right? How you apply yourself. But we can make something happen, and will. You know, I got day oneers. Everybody a day oneer, but I'm saying people that been rocking with me for the past 4 years. They come out to the events. They done been to my home. You feel me? They barbecued with me, shot the shit. We had Zinfandel and drinks, party all day into the nighttime. You know, it's like layers to it. I just don't open myself up to everybody all at once. But over the course of time, you're going to get to fucking know me. Like, oh, man, this nigga really trying to do some shit. Not trying, put my people in the position, because it ain't about me. It's about these children. Because they're more connected than we are. They just need structure. They just need an outline. They need a foundation, a system, and a targeted goal to project their application into. And that's what radiology does. And put children off on a good foot so they could continue to evolve. So by the time that they my age, all of their spiritual senses is on, and they got access between both dimensions. And they won't experience what you're referring to as death. We might do it, but they're not going to experience death. They just going to transition. Oh, they could depixelate out of this bitch with the road I'm looking to put our children on. Because that's what they incarnated here for. They don't need to be cleaning they don't need to be clearing up the karmic debt of the bloodline they incarnated into. That's our job. Once we do that, then they can accelerate the evolutionary patterns within the ecosystem for the hominids that incarnate. That way they don't have to keep on dying and keep cycling back through here. It's time. The planet has had enough. A lot of you egotistically say that you on the fifth dimension. No, it's the planet that's sick of the third dimension and it wants to go to the fifth dimension. You just happen to be tethered to it. And you pick it up on them transmissions. So put your feet in the grass, lift your head back, inhale some sunlight. Make sure that the photosynthesis get into the pocket of each gland within the endocrine system. Start filling your body up with light so that you could store in your consciousness a lot of the experiences that you're having in this reality. And you can utilize it when you go to sleep, right? But that's how that goes. Anybody else? I'll take one more question. I'll take one more question. Kalana Azub, her daughter. Her daughter lay. Her daughter lay. Y'all ain't got no questions. We're going to get on up out of here. Go check out my website, 1089techvision.com. Check out the website. We're doing 20%. You're welcome, loved one. 20% off everything. Gratitude. It's called Gratitude 20. That's the code. Gratitude 20. We're doing sales on pendants, medallions, and I guess I put the new pyramids up. I'm going to put some new pendants up there on the board as well. Get the stuff now, y'all, because I got an event coming up, and I'm telling you, a lot of the stuff that y'all see on the website, it'll be gone by the time the event takes place. I'm just keeping it 10K with you. All right? Who am I? Peace and love. May the ancestors be with you in this great day and time called Noon Tare. Wadu. I try to come back a little later.